check in with y'all. Last week I said I'm gonna try to do this once a week, get out my comfort zone and come and holler at y'all and just uh, say what's up. Driving once again on my way to Walton, Kentucky. One thing about truck drivers, man, when you do this for so long, everything is everywhere, and sometimes the days bleed into each other. You know, you could be driving on a Monday, and before you know it, it's a Thursday, and it's Friday. The weekend is coming up, and things of that nature. So sometimes it's hard to even keep up because you're doing it every day. You're going somewhere. You're going somewhere. It's hard to keep up with what cities you be in, what cities you pass through, what was the last gas station you was at, stuff like that, because everything kind of bleeds into each other. But anyway, hope you all had a good week, good weekend. I did. I got some good rest these last couple of days. Been having a little issue with my truck. This is a 2025. We're in 2026, and I'm starting to see a problem or go through a problem with my starter cranking up the truck. The thing about this truck is it didn't come with an APU, which is a unit on the back of the truck that is designed to keep you cool while the truck is off, so you can conserve fuel. And I don't have one of those, so I have to let my truck idle for long amounts of time, especially now when the summer is hitting and we up to like 95, 100 degrees. When this thing is just one big metal box, basically. And when it gets hot, it's hot. It bakes on that metal, and that heat just stuffs up in here, almost like a pressurized cooker. And you got to be cool. You got to stay cool. You got to stay hydrated in this truck. Yeah, you can go outside and do some walk and get some fresh air. But if you're going to be laying down in this truck, you cannot lay down in the heat. You'll mess around and have a complete meltdown in here, a complete stroke with all that heat built up in this truck. So, with all that being said, I probably have to get this thing looked at on tomorrow and um, yeah, so I'll do that before I go on my next trip. Get them to look at it, the mechanics of the job that I work at. So anyway, it's been a long week driving from April of 2012 to July of 2026, and I'm getting to the point now where I want to do local work, but I want to do local work that leads to something. So like, I don't want to just go back what we call back to the house and just be driving up and down, up and down. I want some upward mobility, whether it be a higher position, dispatching, or moving on into delivery, delivery with like pharmaceuticals out of a Sprinter van, where I don't have to be in a CDL life like that for much longer. There's a lot of stipulations that's coming down the pipeline with CDL holders due to whatever's been going on in the country, yada yada. So, especially with guys being very careless and having accidents, especially deadly accidents where people end up dying, then all of a sudden the government has to get involved and has to regulate certain things, make extra changes on top of the changes that they've already made. And, it is what it is, man. So I want to in the next probably 9 months I'll be transitioning and going on to the house, man, and doing something different and moving up in the area where I'm going, which is like courier type deal. So moving on, I went ahead and challenged myself to a 30-day um, going live routine workout. And to be honest with y'all, in my whole life, well, let me start with this story first. So right when I turned about, I want to say about 43, 44, um, I had challenged myself to run a mile. I had just finished the book, David Goggins Can't Hurt Me, and I was like on a supernatural high, like I can leap over tall buildings in a single bound. And as I looked over my life, I had this thought: when was the last time I ran a mile? And I thought and I thought, and I was like, well, I know we used to run a mile in elementary school. We used to run around the school and down the block and back up to the school, Oakside Elementary in Peekskill, New York. And I was like, I used to always quit that mile running it. I would see people who, like young kids, who would just run and kept going, and I would kind of be trailing back. But the more I trailed back, I wasn't like the fastest kid on the planet. But the more I trailed back, the more I saw that other students were allowed to walk the mile instead of jogging it or running it. And so I felt like, well, what am I running for? Let me walk too. So anyway, after reading that book, I was like, you know what? I probably could have pushed myself to run it, and I probably could. So at 44 years old, I had never run a complete mile in my life, and I'm like, yo, that's crazy. So I had challenged myself. I mapped it out on Google. What would be a mile around my apartment building block? The apartments I lived at was like a 4 block radius, 4 or 5 block radius. So I was like, well, let me pick a starting point in front of the apartment, and let me pick a finishing point. So I mapped it out on Google. You could do your distance finder on there, measurement, whatever, and I figured out where it was. So I was like, all right, tomorrow I'm gonna run it. Yo, I went out there. First of all, it was burning hot. Secondly, I don't know why I ate some cereal and had milk in my cereal. The first run was awful. I came back in that apartment. I had walked the last half of that mile. I ran half of it. I jogged half of it, and I ran it. But I jogged half of it. What up? What up, people? What up, people? Kurt, Rachel, glad to meet you. Jasmine, glad to meet you. Shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. So, um, I'm running. I'm jogging it out. Yo, my thighs started tightening up. Not cramping, but just tightening up. Like you're getting a good workout in. Calves, ankles. I'm like, what the freak is these pains? But according to David Goggins in the book Can't Hurt Me, you'll start to find out a lot about yourself when you start pushing yourself past your what you think is your limits. Because by the time you think you have a limit, you're just at 40%. You got so much more inside of you, but you've never pushed yourself, right? So I'm out there, I'm running, jogging rather. I don't know why I keep saying running. I was literally old man jogging. And I got to about halfway and I walked the rest, right? And I'm thinking to myself, yo, that's crazy that I couldn't get past half a mile. I get back to the apartment, I go into the bedroom, and I just flop down on the bed, sweating, thighs is mad tight, and all of a sudden I started to notice something. I wasn't tired. I was laying there, I was exhausted as far as like heavy breathing, mad sweat, but I wasn't tired. I didn't feel like curling up and going to sleep. As a matter of fact, what ended up happening was I stayed up the rest of the day without feeling sluggish. You know, I actually felt good cardiovascularly speaking, and I was like, "Wow, okay, that's nice information to know." Okay, so I waited a couple days, waited till the soreness of my thighs kind of drifted down, and then I went ahead and I tried it again. And that summer I kept trying it, and then what I ended up doing was I didn't finish it the first maybe 4 times, first 4 or 5 times. So I started to incorporate my children into it. I had one of my younger sons. He jogged it out with me, and because he was there, I felt like I can't fail him. So it kind of gave me a little boost to finish the run. I'm talking about I was beat up by the time I finished it. But when I finished that mile, I thought I was going to be like totally like crawling in the house and in the apartment. And I still flopped down on the bed, but I was sitting up, got up, took a shower. Me and him went out for a few to go run some errands. And it was like the summertime. And I was just up. I was even breathing better. Like I felt like I wasn't heavy breathing. Now at this time, mind you, I was still in an obese state. So I'm like 5'8", to 255, 260, and I'm trying to jog out a mile. One thing I did notice in my lifetime, I used to watch The Biggest Loser, and I used to always wonder why those trainers would always make the obese contestants run. And I started to notice a pattern between all of them, which was their knees would go out first because they ain't been on them. They haven't been like running around, right? They've been just sitting around. So I would always be like, why they don't give them something a little less than that first, and then once they come down in their pounds, then take them on a run or a walk, whatever kind of activity on their knees. On almost all those episodes, those people would be running. All right, Michael. All those people would be running, and all of a sudden they'd be like, "Yo, I can't run no more." Like they would run to the point where their knees didn't cooperate with them anymore. And I was like, "Why would that be the first thing to go out?" And why are these trainers? And maybe it's because of the TV show. Maybe it was the editors, the producers. They're like, "Nah, make sure they run too." And anyway, so I felt good, right? So I started making it a habit to try to run a mile. Now I didn't do it every day. I would probably do it once every 2 weeks. It was real slow. When you come out of a procrastinating mindset, it seems like you can't ever get the car crunk up, meaning your body or whatever activity you want to start. It's hard to get the car crunk, but once it is crunk up, you can move, and once you are moving, you want to keep moving. So anyway, fast forward. I get to this time now, and I'm like, you know what? I want to go live and I want to work. I want to show people the workouts that I do on my truck and I want to share that with them. But I want to do it for 30 days so I can make a habit of working out. Because I'll do it to a few months ago. I would work out once, feel good. I'm talking about 15-minute workouts like with the kettlebell or the dumbbells. And I would work out and I'd be like, oh man, I feel real good. Like I'm gonna go ahead and drive. It's at the beginning of my day. And then it would be like, I wouldn't touch them weights for like another 2 weeks. And I was like, yo, you gotta do better, fam. Like I'm always on myself about being more dependable to myself. So anyway, we get to this past Saturday and I'm like, all right, I've done enough research of how to go live, how to get my Tabata timer or what I call my boxing timer in the background so I can hear the bells ringing off the alerts for me to stop certain exercises and get my rest and whatever, whatever. So I finally figured out how to do it on my iPhone and how to listen to the music in the background because YouTube will cut you off if the microphone on your phone picks up music. So yesterday was day one, today was day two. Well, yeah, I'm on. No, so Saturday was day one, Sunday was day two. This is day three, and I went live, worked out a couple of kinks, went live again, did my workout, and I hope that my story inspires other people who may come across my page and see that it doesn't take much to get started. It doesn't take much. You don't have to have the brand new sneakers or the Nike jumpsuit. If that inspires you to get started, okay, cool. But you don't need much. And my Tabata timer is set for. 16 minutes. The actual workout is 15 minutes. But the because it's 16 minutes, the reason why it's 16 minutes is because I have a warm up and a cool down afterwards. And it's just a minute per workout, a 35-second rest in between, three workouts per round, and of uh, a minute of rest between rounds, only three rounds. And yeah, so that's what's been a new update from my last post. And it's just time, man. Like you gotta stay active. Like I said in one of the lives, you know, yeah, we can look back on our youth and be like, you know what? Man, I could eat anything, man, and I was slim and man, I had, my body was intact, whatever, whatever. And then looking back or looking forward, it's like, wow, my body done went to shit. Part of my person, but my body done went to crap, and it's like, well, your activity went down a lot, but your eating didn't. So when we came out of high school and we came out of our childhood, we started to drive in cars a little more. We didn't have to go to gym. We weren't under any kind of pressure to do daily activity, such as going to the gym or, going to run around the track or being in a sport at school. And your activity goes down, but you maintain the quota of your eating. So now there's an imbalance. And then as you grow older, it ends up being that you're packing on weight and packing on weight. And I consider calories and the maintaining of calories like a bank account, right? That's the one bank you want to spend as much as you can. Now your financial bank account, yeah, you want to save money and you want to uh, compound your money as much as possible. But when it comes to your calories, you want to be in a deficit as much as possible. If you're going from obese back down to your proper size that you need for your proper height, your proper age, you want to expend as many calories as you can, and that's how I see it in life. Is like spend them calories up, you packing them on, and wondering why you got the fat back, or I was wondering, man, I'm getting bigger and bigger, man, and it's like, well, yeah, your quota, you keep meeting a 2,500 calorie quota, and you're driving around in a truck, and your activity is like zero. Not like it is zero. Only activity you have is waking up, getting out the bed, brushing your teeth, or whatever you got to do to start driving. You drive, you get up and down out of the truck to get your fuel, you get up and down out of the truck to go check into the office or shipping office or receiving office, and that's it. That's the gist of your activity. And it's like, nah, you got to do more than that. You got to up your activity game. And then the later thought is this: well, who you gonna be accountable to, right? Why is it that we don't keep promises to ourselves? We say we're gonna do something, and then we kind of like slack off because there's no pressure for accountability. Nobody's sitting next to you saying, "Hey, yo, you know you got to get up, right? Hey, yo, you know you gotta, when it comes to a job, yeah, of course we got to get up. Of course, there's pressure for responsibility and accountability because you want to make your check or your salary, and you want to pay your bills, and you want to live comfortably. But when it comes to taking care of your body, a lot of us don't have the inner accountability that we need to get the job done. So we'll start a New Year's resolution, and then we'll stop after about the first month. We'll pay for gym memberships for a year or per month, and we go 3 months without even showing up to the gym because there's no accountability. Like who's going to check you? Who's going to pressure you to go in and take care of your responsibilities, which is taking care of your body? I'm gonna tell you something. You only get one body on this planet. You only here and there. If you blow your leg off and you get one of those kickstand legs, one of those little tink tinks. But here you only get one body. This is not a car. You're not just going to trade in wheels and rebuild motors and add on, do oil changes and stuff like that. You only get one body here, and you got to take care of it. You got to keep it tuned. You got to keep it active. The more active it is, the more it works for your benefit. And the fuel that you put into it, meaning your food, has to be beneficial for your movement. You can't just eat a bunch of little Debbie's. I told myself the other day in my journal, yo, if somebody here got to be the grown up, or else you gonna mess around a little Debbie B to death. You can't, man should not live by little Debbie's alone, man. You got to do something else. And when you do something else, you can't be counterproductive with your eating if you're trying to work out. So let's say you're working out, you're doing good, you're a weekend, but you're eating bad food, right? Greasy, fried up food, stuff that is not beneficial for your body. Well, you're annulling the effort that you're putting into the gym. So no wonder you don't see no difference. You ain't changing your eating styles. Your eating lifestyle is working against you. Go get some chicken tenders from the store that you gotta put in the microwave or the air fryer. Go grab you a bunch of those little bowls of salad. Put the chicken on there. Throw your ranch or your Caesar or your uh, balsamic vinaigrette, as my mother-in-law would say, and enjoy your chicken salad. Drink you a Waterloo sparkling water or a bubbly sparkling water. You know what I'm saying? But you got to change your lifestyle, and you can't eat based on your taste buds. Your taste buds are fooling you. They are taste buds are like spoiled brats. They want what they want, even if it's not conducive for where you're going for your health and fitness. Your taste buds will lead you down the wrong path off a cliff real quick. You cannot trust your taste buds at all. So, just a couple things I want to share. I appreciate you guys that did chime in and came through and said hello. I appreciate y'all. Salute to y'all. Thank you for your support. And if you enjoy this journey of mine and you can identify with it, or if you just, you're interested in where my life is going, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. It's only a couple of thumb movements. It's not like I'm asking you for your I'm not asking you for an offering. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not church. You know what I'm saying? I believe in church, but I'm just saying it's not church. I'm not asking for your happy paycheck. But if you like my journey, you like what's going on, you like where my life is going, be a friend, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and let's move forward. And any advice toward my or any suggestions you have with my Tabata timer workouts, I'll do my best to try to consider them and incorporate them because I'm still looking for one more kettlebell and or a dumbbell workout. So I have three workouts that I can showcase instead of just two all the time. So I have a kettlebell workout and I have one dumbbell workout that I'm gonna be alternating in these next 28 days on this 30-day challenge. Give me 15 minutes in 30 days and let's start building healthier habits, healthier motion. You know what I'm saying? All right, you guys, y'all have a good night. Love y'all.